If you feel like everyone your age is ahead of you, more money, more progress, more everything, this is not just another motivational video. This is a warning. You are not too late yet. But if you ignore what I'm about to show you, you will be. I understand what you are feeling. I know the sting of seeing others flourish while you feel stuck, stalled, or paralyzed by the mistakes and missed opportunities of the past, the weight of wasted time, the drag of toxic environments, the secret worry that your moment has passed. These are burdens I have seen crush the spirit of otherwise capable men and women. For more than half a century, I dedicated my life to organizing the secrets of the world's most successful individuals, men like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison. And what I discovered is this: the hidden reason you feel behind is not luck, talent, or circumstance. It is the lack of a definite goal and the resulting lack of decision. It is a failure of mental organization, not a failure of character. Your current circumstances are merely the reflection of your dominant, organized thoughts, or the lack thereof. You see your past mistakes as evidence that the game is over. But I tell you this: the time you perceive as lost provides the very maturity and desperate desire necessary to apply these principles with the intensity you lacked before. That aching sense of being behind is not a curse, it is fuel. It is the friction that, when properly channeled, produces the white-hot heat of burning desire. This is the key difference between perpetual regret and profound redemption, the harnessing of past pain into future power. The universe favors the prepared mind driven by intensity of purpose. The setbacks you have faced have seasoned you for the persistent effort required to claim your great fortune. The philosophy I organized from the experiences of more than 500 successful men and women holds the secret of mastery over your economic and spiritual fate. And today, we will show you the exact steps to acquire the power and skill necessary to eliminate the need for any more do-overs. Understand this foundational truth immediately. You are not too late, but you do not have time to waste. The choice to delay one more day is the choice to invite failure back into your life. You must treat your remaining time as the most precious commodity you possess. Waste is an economic sin, and wasted time is the greatest waste of all. The ultimate warning, defining your escape route. If you look back on the last 5 or 10 years, what do you see? A vague hope, perhaps, a general wish to do better, to earn more, to be happier. But a vague hope yields vague results. A ship that leaves harbor without a definite course finds itself adrift, subject to every passing current and storm, consuming fuel without purpose. This applies directly to your life. If you do not define your target now, your goal will remain vague, and your efforts will remain purposeless. To avoid wasting any more time to truly begin your escape route, the absolute first step is converting your frustration into a singular, forceful, burning desire. This is desire, the first step toward riches. I am not speaking merely of wishing or hoping. I am speaking of an intense, emotionalized hunger that accepts no possibility of retreat. This desire must be so powerful that it overrides the natural human tendency toward inertia and temporary defeat. Many people want money, but their desire is weak, lukewarm, and easily abandoned at the first sign of difficulty. They accept mediocre compensation without protest, and they waste their efforts on aimless tasks because they lack the force that organizes and directs all human energy. Wishing will not bring you riches. Only planning, backed by that powerful desire, will. A weak desire is incapable of activating the subconscious mind, which is the repository of all creative energy. It is this emotional intensity that gives life and power to your thoughts. Think of Edwin C. Barnes. When he first decided he would become the business associate of the great Thomas A. Edison, he had no money, no connections, and no true specialized knowledge. He arrived at Edison's laboratories resembling a tramp, but he possessed something more valuable than all of those things combined, a burning desire. He did not merely wish to work for Edison. He had made up his mind to stand by until he succeeded, no matter the obstacles. When he was rejected, he stayed. His desire was so intense that it was eventually transmitted to Edison himself, who later gave Barnes the opportunity that led to his fortune, the right to market the Edison dictating machine. Edison saw not the tramp, but the unyielding focus of a determined mind. The intensity of his desire magnetized him to the opportunity. The moment Barnes stepped off the train, he began to convert his emotional energy into its monetary equivalent because he knew exactly what he wanted and refused to quit. This principle is not mystical. It is simply the law of the human mind. The subconscious mind is highly responsive to thoughts mixed with emotion. Do you possess that kind of single-minded focus? If you do not, you must manufacture it. You must burn the bridges of retreat, leaving yourself no option but success. The time for casual effort is over. You must now apply concentrated mental energy. This concentration of thought upon a definite aim is the essence of all great achievement. The first unavoidable action you must take now is the practical application of this energy. You must establish your definite chief aim, your major purpose, and back it with the faith that it can be achieved. This aim must become the mental equivalent of the money you desire. You must see the money and the completed result with the same clarity you use to read these words. Do not merely dream of success. Command it through the definiteness of your purpose. Your 6 steps for transmuting desire. I have provided the exact formula for transmuting the intangible thought of desire into its physical equivalent. This is the bedrock of my philosophy, and the first act of power you will perform. Do not read it and postpone it. You must execute it today. Fix the exact amount of money. You must fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Be definite. Pinpoint the number, for vagueness of purpose leads to vagueness of effort. Vague goals produce vague results, and vague efforts always lead to feeling behind. Furthermore, you must determine exactly what service, commodity, or merchandise you intend to give in return for the money you desire. Nature demands a price for everything. You must specify the value you will deliver. This exchange principle is the basis of all sound business practice. The concept of something for nothing is a mental trap that leads to stagnation. Establish a definite date. Establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money. This introduces the element of decision and urgency, forcing you out of the comfort of perpetual postponement. A goal without a deadline is merely a wish. The definite date stimulates your mind to create the necessary plan and take action. This time limit acts as a persistent spur to action, preventing delay. Create a plan and begin at once. Create a definite, practical plan for carrying out your desire, and begin at once, whether you feel ready or not to put this plan into action. The time for preparation is over. The time for execution is now. Do not wait for circumstances to be perfect. Create the circumstances through action. Any plan put into action immediately is better than the most perfect plan that remains dormant. The execution of the plan, however imperfect, generates the necessary experience for correction and refinement. Write out a clear, concise statement. Write out a clear, concise statement covering all 4 preceding points: the amount of money, the time limit, the service to be rendered, and the plan for acquiring it. This act formalizes your commitment and directs the subconscious mind. The written word is a powerful form of autosuggestion. The physical act of writing commits the purpose to the objective world, magnifying its reality. Read the statement aloud twice daily. Read your written statement aloud twice daily, once just before retiring at night and once after arising in the morning. This systematic physical action feeds the desire directly into your subconscious mind via autosuggestion. The moments before sleep and upon waking are when the subconscious is most receptive. This ritual ensures your definite purpose becomes the dominant force in your subconscious operation. Mix emotion with your words. As you read, you must see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money. This is the crucial step. You must mix emotion, or feeling, which is faith, with your words. The subconscious mind will only act upon thoughts that are charged with emotion. You must believe in the power of your desire and the certainty of your success. This emotionalized visualization must become a habit. Faith is the catalyst that transforms desire into reality. This mixture of faith and emotion is the spiritual dynamite that moves mountains of difficulty. When you execute these 6 steps, you move beyond wishful thinking and into the domain of action driven by faith, the second step toward riches. You replace the aimlessness that led you to feel behind with a definite purpose that commands your time and energy. I encourage you now to make a commitment. Do not wait for tomorrow. Take 1 minute to pause. Write down the goal you will chase, and take the first step toward putting this philosophy into action. The time trap, mastering indecision and procrastination. The ultimate warning I give you that you cannot afford any more do-overs means you cannot afford delay. The habit of indecision, of putting off until tomorrow what you know must be done today, is the enemy of all great achievement and the primary reason capable people remain stuck in mediocrity. Convinced they are behind, every single hour you postpone a decision is an hour granted to the forces of inertia and failure. The difference between success and failure often lies in the fraction of a second when one makes a decision. Prompt decision is a trait universally observed in men of great wealth and influence. Lack of decision stands near the head of the list of the 30 major causes of failure. A slow decision is usually worse than a poor one because the opportunity often vanishes during the delay. The great leaders of industry, finance, and statesmanship reach decisions promptly and change them only slowly. The man or woman who is easily influenced by the cheap opinions of others is one who has no definite aim and consequently cannot make a definite decision. Decisiveness is the hallmark of leadership. He who hesitates usually finds the seat he desires has been taken. Indecision is the magnet that attracts negative outside influences. You must master procrastination by adopting the habit of reaching decisions promptly. When you look back and regret the lost years, you are primarily regretting moments where you failed to make a firm decision about your path. You allowed circumstance or the opinions of friends, family, or the critical majority to guide you, and you drifted. Will you allow the opinions of the fearful to cost you another decade? The man who cannot decide on a path quickly is already defeated. The environment of indecision breeds nothing but failure. The greatest crime against your future is the postponement of definite action. Look at the history of those who accumulate great fortunes. They are men and women of swift decision. Consider the case of Dr. Frank W. Gonzalez. He needed $1 million to finance a college he envisioned. He recognized, as I teach, that the only limitation is that which one sets up in one's own mind. He made a prompt and definite decision to acquire $1 million. He publicly announced his plan. Within 36 hours of making that definite and bold decision, he received the necessary funds from a benefactor. His swift decision and absolute faith crystallized the vague idea of the college into immediate action. He didn't wait. He declared the decision, and the resources appeared. The promptness of his decision activated the law of attraction in his favor. The world steps aside for the man who knows where he is going. When your definite, practical plan flashes into your mind as an inspiration, you must put it into action immediately. That sudden surge of insight is the communication of your subconscious mind, or, in its highest form, the sixth sense. To delay is to lose the connection, to let the fire cool, and to allow the destructive habit of postponement to reclaim its hold. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. The greatest ideas are often the most fleeting. Capture them with immediate action. Inspiration is a gift that must be seized and acted upon before it retreats. Action steps, decision, and organized planning. This requires the dual application of decision, the mastery of procrastination, and organized planning, the sixth step toward riches. Reach decisions promptly and change them slowly. When you have a sound plan, one rooted in your definite chief aim, do not allow it to be dismantled by doubt or the unsolicited advice of those who have accomplished nothing. Do not allow a lack of funds or resources to postpone your decision to begin. Hold your decisions firm until they prove fundamentally flawed. The decision to follow through is often more important than the quality of the initial plan. Sound decisions are reached quickly because they are based on definite principle, not vague emotion. Reduce your plan to writing immediately. This is the crystallization of desire into action. Write the steps down, the resources required, the people you will approach, the timelines, and begin executing the very first step now. A written plan provides the map and the accountability required to defeat indecision. Writing formalizes thought and provides a physical command to the subconscious. This is the blueprint that organizes all future mental and physical effort. Start where you stand. The man who is waiting for the right time to begin is a man who will wait forever. You possess all the resources necessary to execute the first step of your plan. Use what is in your hands right now, today. The power you seek will be found in motion, not in contemplation. Action creates the momentum that brings success. The path to riches begins with the application of whatever knowledge and tools you currently possess. The resources you need are always attracted by the movement of your definite plan. Keep your own counsel. Share your plans only with members of your mastermind group. The man who feels behind is often handicapped by the opinions or ridicule of those in his immediate environment. This toxicity is a time trap. Do not submit your bold, ambitious plans to small, timid minds. They will attempt to impose their limitations upon you and talk you out of your chosen path. Keep your mastermind group small, specialized, and absolutely harmonious. Protect your mind from negative influences. Only share your definite purpose with those who will encourage you, not discourage you. The energy of your desire must be shielded from those who lack faith and purpose. The world pays a high price for the man who knows what he wants and is determined to get it. That determination is forged in the fire of prompt, unwavering decisions. You have waited long enough. Your opportunity is here, waiting for you to move decisively. The mental do-over, autosuggestion, and fear elimination. To feel behind in life is to be stuck in failure consciousness. Perhaps you are surrounded by critics or paralyzed by the fear of starting over and failing again in the public eye. It is the mental prison that convinces you the past is permanent and that success is impossible. I warn you. The human mind is a subtle machine. If you do not control your mind now, it will attract and translate thoughts of poverty, regret, and limitation just as quickly as it will attract and translate thoughts of riches and progress. You must achieve a mental do-over using the powerful principle of autosuggestion. This mental transformation is the necessary prerequisite for any lasting change in your external world. Your inner world must be structured for success before success can manifest. The circumstances of your life are largely determined by the thought habits you have allowed to dominate your mind for the last several years. Autosuggestion is the agency through which the individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind with thoughts of a creative or destructive nature. It is the self-administered stimulus that reaches your subconscious mind through the five senses. In the 6 steps for transmuting desire, you are already using it by reading your statement aloud with emotion. The quality of thought you send to your subconscious determines the quality of life you receive in return. The subconscious mind records and acts upon the dominant thoughts held in your conscious mind. Your fate is sealed by the nature of the thoughts you deliberately feed your subconscious. The subconscious mind makes no distinction between constructive and destructive thought impulses. It merely acts upon the suggestion it receives, especially if that suggestion is charged with feeling. Every experience, every thought, every sensation you have ever allowed to reach your mind is recorded and influences your actions today. The systematic use of autosuggestion is the method by which you can surgically replace the crippling beliefs of failure with the vibrant commands of faith. If you have allowed negative self-talk, crippling doubt, and the opinions of critics to dominate your mind, then your subconscious mind, your silent partner in all endeavors, is being fed the suggestion of failure. It then works to make that suggestion a reality, sabotaging your best efforts at the point of action. This explains why you may intellectually desire success, but find yourself constantly postponing the necessary steps. To reverse this pattern, you must become the absolute master of the thoughts that enter your mind. This self-mastery is the only true control you possess in life. Do not allow the fears transmitted by the negative environment to take root in your fertile mental soil. The man who does not control his mind is controlled by the minds of others. You must erect a vigilant guard at the door of your conscious mind to filter out all negative and limiting suggestions, especially those that whisper, "You are too late." This is the foundation of all courage and definite action. The control of your own mental environment is the first major battle you must win to eliminate the need for any more do-overs. You cannot afford the luxury of fear. The man who feels behind often suffers from 3 specific fears: fear of criticism, fear of poverty, and fear of old age. The fear of criticism keeps you chained to the toxic circles and mediocre environments that hold you back. You postpone action because you worry about what others will say. You let cheap opinions guide your conduct. This fear destroys initiative and self-reliance. It is a relic of tribal consciousness that must be overcome by the power of personal decision. The cure is to develop an intense desire for your goal that renders criticism insignificant. The fear of poverty paralyzes you, forcing you to remain in a safe but unsatisfying position, thus eliminating the possibility of the bold, decisive action required for great riches. Poverty consciousness is a state of mind, not a lack of money. It is destructive because it undermines ambition and stifles the imagination. It is a negative thought habit that must be replaced by the poverty-destroying power of definite purpose. The fear of old age is the root of your worry that it is too late. This fear is baseless, for the power of the mind does not diminish with years, provided it is kept in constant, definite application. The greatest creative periods for many men begin in their 40s and 50s. Age is merely a number. The capacity for definite thought and action remains until physical decline. Mental age is the only age that matters in the pursuit of lasting success. These fears are merely states of mind, and the cure for a state of mind is another, more powerful state of mind, which we call faith. Faith is the only known antidote to fear. Faith is the perpetual awareness of your power to control your mind. Consider the story of my son, Blair Hill. He was born without the ability to hear. Instead of accepting the world's definition of his limits, I taught him to use desire backed by faith to compensate for his affliction. We implanted in his mind the definite purpose of becoming a successful leader, and he used his willpower and autosuggestion to build a consciousness of power and self-reliance that transcended his physical limitations. His life became the oasis in the desert of lost hope for many, proving that the greatest affliction is not physical, but mental. What mental chains are you still allowing to bind you? Your mind is your greatest tool. Learn to control it. If you control your thoughts, you control your circumstances. The true victory is always won in the mind before it is manifested in the physical world. Action steps. Achieving the mental do-over. You must make the systematic application of autosuggestion a daily ritual, or the old habits of negative thought will return. Apply the self-confidence formula daily. Create a concise statement of the person you intend to become, detailing your purpose, the service you will render, and your commitment to persist. Read this formula aloud and concentrate your thoughts for 30 minutes daily on the mental picture of the person you intend to become. See yourself as the leader, the master, the decisive individual. This is the deliberate creation of your own self-image. You are literally talking yourself into your future success. This concentration is a form of prayer that moves the subconscious to action. Mix your thoughts with emotion. Your subconscious mind acts upon only thoughts which have been well mixed with emotion or feeling. Do not merely repeat the words. Feel the burning desire. Feel the faith. Feel the certainty of achievement. This emotional charge is the voltage that powers the law of attraction. Emotion is the energy that moves the subconscious. The intensity of the feeling determines the speed of manifestation. The 6 basic emotions, faith, love, strong affinity, enthusiasm, romance, and hope are the most powerful for mixing with thoughts. Use willpower to build immunity. You must use willpower constantly to build a wall of immunity against all negative and destructive influences from your environment. When a friend or colleague attempts to inject fear, doubt, or skepticism into your mind, you must shut the door immediately. This is self-control. Willpower is the steering mechanism of the mind. Do not passively receive any destructive suggestion. Challenge it with a positive, definitive thought. Mental discipline is the cost of freedom from poverty and failure. Systematic saving for courage. Form the habit of systematic saving, setting aside a definite percentage of your earnings, no matter how small, to create a safe foundation of courage against the fear of poverty. Financial security provides the psychological freedom necessary to take the calculated risks required for great wealth. Money, used correctly, buys freedom from fear. A planned reserve of capital frees the mind to concentrate on positive creation. Financial planning is not just about money. It is about building mental fortitude. The mental do-over is the act of seizing control of your inner environment. The man who is master of his own thoughts is master of his own destiny. The decision to change your life is the most important one you will ever make. But the decision requires reinforcement. If the truths you are hearing now resonate with the deeper, more ambitious part of your spirit, then I urge you to take your next definite action. Subscribe to this channel now. Align yourself with a community that is committed to applying these principles and mastering their economic destiny. Do not let this moment of motivation pass without cementing it with a definite act. Make this commitment public and definite. No more isolation. Organize power and leverage. If you are behind, you cannot afford to struggle alone. The lone wolf is often the first to fail because he attempts to solve all problems using only his personal, limited experience and knowledge. Power is essential for success, and it is gained through organized and intelligently directed knowledge. The mastermind principle stops the do-over cycle by providing instant leverage of experience, education, and spiritual power that you could not possibly accumulate in one lifetime. It is the greatest single secret of the philosophy I organized. It is the economic substitute for specialized knowledge you do not yet possess. This alliance is the only route to organized, sufficient power. This is the principle of the mastermind, the ninth step toward riches. A mastermind may be defined as coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of perfect harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. No great and permanent fortune has ever been built without the application of this principle. The power you gain is threefold. Economic power, the accumulation of the combined specialized knowledge of the members. You get the benefit of their decades of study and experience without the cost of repeating their failures. This alliance provides the greatest possible quantity and quality of ideas and information. Your mastermind group becomes a reservoir of instantly available specialized knowledge. Creative power. The stimulation of the combined minds creates a third mind or synergy, leading to ideas that no single mind could conceive. This is the creative energy of the mastermind. The friction of differing minds in harmony generates pure, usable inspiration. This collective intelligence is the closest humans come to accessing infinite intelligence. Spiritual power. The combined minds elevate the thinking of each member, helping to conquer fear and strengthen faith. They serve as an immediate, powerful wall of immunity against negative influence. This is the psychic energy necessary to sustain prolonged effort. The harmony of the group produces an intangible power that supports the weakest member. The moment you ally yourself with a mastermind group, you eliminate the major pain points of feeling limited in your network, relying solely on your own struggle, or feeling uneducated for the task ahead. You instantly gain access to the knowledge you lack. Are you still trying to climb this mountain alone? The most successful men delegate the knowledge they lack. The world's greatest leaders are not polymaths. They are masters of organization and delegation. Your goal is to become the chief executive of your alliance, not the laborer. The foundation of the mastermind principle was the lifelong practice of Andrew Carnegie. He accumulated millions of dollars not by possessing all the specialized knowledge himself, but by making practical use of the mastermind principle. He organized a cabinet of men who possessed the specialized knowledge he needed to produce and market steel. He was the coordinating power, and by applying this alliance in a spirit of perfect harmony, he ensured the accumulation of one of the world's great fortunes. Carnegie's power lay not in what he knew, but in his ability to organize the power of others. He understood that organized effort is the key to sustained success. His secret was harnessing specialized talent through perfect harmony. You are not required to know everything. You are only required to know where to find the knowledge you need, and the mastermind provides the most direct route. Action steps: organized power and specialized knowledge. Do not confuse a simple social club with a mastermind. The latter is a specific, definite working alliance with a business purpose. Ally yourself with a mastermind group. Identify the specialized knowledge necessary for your definite chief aim. If you need financial expertise, find a successful financier. If you need marketing skill, ally with a professional marketer. You may start with just one other person. Choose those who possess what you lack. Your partners must complement your skills and possess the experience required by your definite chief aim. Do not choose members for friendship, but for their ability to contribute to your definite purpose. Maintain perfect harmony. This is the most critical step. Failure to maintain perfect harmony between yourself and every member of your mastermind group guarantees failure. A divided house falls. Any personal differences, jealousy, or disharmony will undermine the economic and spiritual power of the alliance. This requires tolerance and self-control. Harmony is the law of the mastermind. Any conflict must be addressed and resolved immediately, or the group must be disbanded. Harmony multiplies power. Disharmony dissipates it entirely. Acquire specialized knowledge. Use the alliance to acquire the specialized knowledge required for your definite chief aim. You do not need to attend years of university if a member of your group already possesses the precise knowledge you need. Their experience becomes your education. Knowledge, correctly applied through the mastermind, is power. This is the fastest, most economical way to close the gap between your current position and your goal. The mastermind is a shortcut to specialized education. Apply the QQS formula. When you market your personal services to your mastermind group or to any employer, you must apply the QQS formula as a habit. Quality, doing your work thoroughly; quantity, delivering the most service you can; and spirit of cooperation, performing in a pleasant and harmonious manner. This formula ensures that you are constantly building goodwill and power within your network. The ability to render service of superior quality and quantity in a spirit of harmony determines your compensation. Success in selling personal services requires this consistent application of superior effort and attitude. Practice imaginary council meetings. Until you find the perfect physical alliance, you can stimulate inspiration by practicing holding imaginary council meetings with invisible counselors. Select figures living or passed on whose characteristics you admire, such as Lincoln, Emerson, or Edison. By imagining them advising you on your problems, you stimulate your sixth sense and gain access to a quality of thought far superior to your own. This acts as a mental bridge to genius. This deliberate stimulation connects you to higher planes of thought. The power of the great minds can be borrowed through this imaginative practice. Stop trying to struggle alone. You have delayed long enough. The leverage of the mastermind is the single greatest tool to compress time and catch up to the destiny you deserve. The last chance against quitting: persistence. If you are reading this because you feel behind, I know a profound truth about you. You have likely quit just short of success many times before. The gap between you and the person you want to be will widen forever if you keep quitting when overtaken by temporary defeat. The greatest fortunes are accumulated by those who refuse to take no for a final answer. Every temporary defeat carries within it the seed of an equivalent success, but only for the person who persists. Temporary defeat is merely a signal that your plan is not sound, not that your goal is unattainable. Lack of persistence is the single greatest weakness common to the majority of men and women. It is the difference between failure and great fortune. The man who feels behind is often the man who is a poor finisher, full of enthusiasm at the start, but collapsing at the first sign of difficulty. Enthusiasm is easily manufactured, but persistence is forged in the fire of adversity. The person who persists will ultimately wear down all opposition, both internal and external. This is your final warning and your greatest point of leverage. Failure cannot cope with persistence. In nearly every great fortune I studied, I found men and women who were on the verge of quitting 1,000 times, yet they persisted. Consider the common cause of failure illustrated by the story of R.U., Darby's uncle. After digging for gold and selling his equipment for a pittance because he thought the vein had run out, the buyer called in a mining engineer. The engineer determined the vein was only 3 feet from where the uncle had stopped. 3 feet. The difference between a multi-million-dollar fortune and a man who quit was 3 feet of persistence. Are you 3 feet from your gold mine right now? Do not let 3 feet of earth separate you from your destiny. The lesson of the gold mine is that discouragement is a trick of the mind that appears just before the final breakthrough. When the pressure to quit is greatest, the potential reward is closest. Contrast that with Thomas A. Edison. He met with temporary defeat 10,000 times before perfecting the light bulb. When questioned about his failures, he famously replied that he had not failed. He had simply discovered 10,000 ways that would not work. His failures were merely temporary defeats, signals that his plan was unsound, requiring him to rebuild it and persist with renewed effort. His persistence was the practical manifestation of his faith. Edison's success was not a matter of luck, but a matter of sheer force of will directed by persistence. The world's greatest inventor understood that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration, fueled by persistence. The truth is that you are often closest to success when defeat seems most unbearable. The moment you are tempted to quit is the precise moment when you must intensify your effort. Persistence is to the mind what carbon is to steel. It gives the mind toughness and durability in the face of insurmountable odds. It is the guarantee that the force of your desire will not be broken by adversity. Action steps. Developing unbreakable persistence. Persistence is not a gift. It is a state of mind that can be cultivated and strengthened. It is an act of will that becomes a powerful habit. Adopt the creed. You must adopt the mental creed. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. Repeat this until it is burned into your subconscious mind. It must become your non-negotiable mental instruction. Make this statement the absolute governor of your actions. This creed serves as an unwavering moral compass during times of crisis. Develop persistence through 4 steps. Persistence must be systematically built upon 4 cornerstones. A definite purpose, backed by a burning desire. You must know exactly what you want, leaving no room for wavering. This is the foundation. Without it, persistence is impossible. The clarity of the destination provides the energy for the journey. A definite plan, expressed in continuous action. You must be moving forward every day, even when the progress is small. Daily, definite action is the only true measure of persistence. A plan eliminates confusion and channels effort efficiently. A mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences, including self-doubt. Do not entertain the thought of quitting. This is the application of willpower to your inner environment. This mental shield protects your fragile faith from external attack. A friendly alliance with one or more people who will encourage you to follow through with your plan and purpose. Your mastermind. This provides the necessary external support when your internal resolve weakens. External encouragement is the brace that holds persistence firm. The mastermind prevents isolation, which is the natural home of discouragement. Increase the intensity of your desire. The lack of persistence is nearly always caused by a weak or lukewarm desire. You must go back to the first principle and increase the intensity of your desire to conquer weak persistence. Reread your written statement, inject more emotion, and make the vision of success so vivid that quitting is physically painful. The pain of quitting must outweigh the pain of persistence. A deep emotional desire is the only force capable of sustaining persistent effort. Rekindle the fire of your definite purpose until it is an inferno. Convert defeat into advantage. Never accept defeat as anything more than a signal that your plan is not sound. When temporary defeat overtakes you, accept it, but immediately begin to rebuild those plans. Do not quit the goal. Quit the plan that failed. Remember the profound law. Every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. The man who is behind has a greater store of experience and maturity to draw upon than the man who succeeded too early and knows only one path. The experiences that led to your feeling behind are your greatest assets, provided you now apply them with persistence. The lessons learned through defeat are invaluable. They are the education you paid for with wasted time. Do not allow the past to dictate the future. The years you feel you lost were simply the preparation for your final, persistent, winning effort. This single principle, persistence, is the only insurance policy you need against a wasted future. Do not risk another regret. Do not allow the past to dictate the future. I want to hear from you. Take a stand against the fear of criticism right now. The man who fears the criticism of others will not speak his truth, and that is a failure of nerve. If you are serious about changing your life and eliminating the need for do-overs, then commit to this action. Leave a comment below and tell me two things. What is your definite chief aim? Be specific with the amount and date. And how old are you? This act is your first public declaration of definite purpose. You are not too late. Let us prove that the power of definite purpose transcends any number printed on a calendar. You came to this video burdened by regret, looking back at years you feel were wasted on aimlessness, bad habits, and toxic relationships. I have given you the ultimate warning. You are not too late, but you do not have time to waste. The man who feels behind is often the man on the verge of his greatest breakthrough. Why? Because the pain of regret has finally produced the burning desire necessary to sustain the effort. You have the maturity, you have the experience of failure, and you have the desperation that the young, unseasoned man lacks. You have the perfect friction to create fire. The time for wishing is past. The time for demanding your destiny is now. The greatest comeback story is the one you are writing right now. The knowledge that you are running out of time must be the greatest motivator you possess. We have covered the exact, usable steps from my organized philosophy, desire and faith, converting vague wishing into a definite emotionalized purpose using the 6 steps. This is the initial ignition. Decision and planning. Mastering the time trap of procrastination by reaching decisions promptly and reducing your plan to immediate written action. This is the steering mechanism. Autosuggestion and fear. Performing a mental do-over by controlling your mind and eliminating the fears of poverty and criticism that held you captive. This is the mental thermostat. Mastermind, eliminating isolation and leveraging the power of specialized knowledge and harmonious alliance. This is the organized power plant. Persistence, refusing to quit after temporary defeat and seeing every adversity as the seed of an equivalent advantage. This is the fuel that keeps the engine running. Do not allow the voice of the past to whisper doubt into your ear. The person who feels the most regret often achieves the greatest redemption. The time you have left is more than sufficient, provided you spend every minute from this point forward in definite, organized action. The only limit on what you can achieve is the limit you set in your own mind. Your future is not determined by your past failures, but by your present decisions and persistence. Your immediate destiny is not to dwell on what was lost, but to start now. Go back to the 6 steps of desire. Write your statement, read it with faith, and take the first physical action on your plan today. This is the principle of growth, and this channel is dedicated to walking with you through every step of that journey. If this message of definite purpose and redemption spoke to your heart, share this video with one person you know who feels behind, who is stuck in a toxic circle, or who needs this warning and this hope. You may just be the mastermind connection they needed. You are not too late. Start now.